Hey MGTOWs, this is Vention. I've had a problem with my car. I actually had to resort to banging on my starter to get it to start, otherwise I would have been stranded. That's mildly embarrassing. We can't have that. So I bought a nice rebuilt. Looks like a good one. So I just wanted to touch base with you guys and tell you the good news. I've said before that that back in 1997, in mid-May, there was a very a very pissed off young man named Vention, and he saw how some of his best friends and fellow mechanics have gotten totally fucked over by their wives. And he just said, no, I'm not going to do that shit. Well, that was 20 years ago. My journals aren't terribly, accurate on the exact day, but it was in the middle of March in 1997 that I said, fuck that shit. So, and now I've had 20 years of peace and prosperity, and I've built upon it, and stepped up the property ladder, and hung out with my friends, and just did whatever the fuck I want for 20 years. And 20 years ago, I was sort of a younger man, early 30s, and at that time, I didn't get much action as far as dating, because you know how crazy arrogant women in their 20s are. Well, anyway, and I would get some flack sometimes from my fellow mechanics who were married or had girlfriends, and they say, "Hey, you're not getting laid, are you, Vention?" And I said, "Okay." And I said, "Yeah, that's funny, ha ha." And then years later, those same guys were going, "Oh, the wife wants me to do this. Oh, they want me to do that. And oh, my divorce. And oh, I have my kids this weekend." And it's like, "Oh, the pain, the child support's bankrupting me," and all that. And some of them are still married, though. And some have been from time to time, every few years, I pull out my pay stub and I look at it and I smile and I say, "Wow." And then I look up at around the break table with my fellow mechanics and I say, "What are you going to do with all your money?" And they say, "Bills." And I said, "Oh, you're married." And then I went on to say, "Well, at least you can get laid whenever you want." And that caused a universal, around the table, cry of agony amongst all of my mechanics. Oh! Because that isn't what happens. About 10 years into the marriage, you're lucky if you get laid like once a week. So and some of them talk it up, some of them don't, and some of them actually come to work, a few of them, to get when he says to get away from his wife, and I've heard that once or twice before. And I've a guy at one of my other shops, he was really angry and fighting with his wife, and so he decided to just come to work. It's pretty sad when you have to come to work to get away from your wife. You should have a space of your own somewhere. So, yeah, 20 years, let's call it today. I have been a MGTOW for 20 years. Nice. So, yeah, I think I've had a chance to evaluate the lifestyle, see what it's like, and try it out. Yes. Yeah, I like it. So, I mean, it's not paradise. No matter where you are in life, no matter what situation you are in life, there is always something you would, prefer, or say, wow, that might be better, or that looks better, But no matter where you are, you're gonna sometimes feel unfulfilled. And it's just like, a married guy will say, oh, I wish I had my freedom, and I can't blame him for that. And sometimes even MGTOWs might say, geez, I wish I had a girlfriend or a wife or something like that. And I felt a little bit like that when I first moved into the house, because it was so empty and so spooky, And it's like, I wish I had somebody to live with me in the house, But yeah, then my dad moved in. I said, hey. And that instantly, as soon as he moved in, boom, the place felt like home. So, yeah, good times. And I've been building up my assets, and I have something to hope for with all this Bitcoin stuff. And the Bitcoins are doing very well. That ETF failed, but, I think Bitcoins are still going to do very well, especially when the real financial problems hit. Probably in a couple years, probably by 2019, everybody's going to be really pessimistic as far as the economy goes, and they're going to be buying Bitcoins. And all I need is about $9,000 or $10,000 Bitcoin price, and I could retire here in the States. I wouldn't have to move to Cambodia. So, yeah, good times. I think I'm pretty darn content. And today was my first day off, really, that I had in 3 weeks. First, I had that jury duty thing for 2 weeks, and then I got really, really sick last weekend, and I just was in a NyQuil-induced coma all weekend. But finally, I got a day off. It's been great. I've just been in this sort of state of overwhelmed with a feeling of well-being, and then I just realized it's been 20 years since I went MGTOW. So, yeah, other than that, in other news, let's see. I had, up until recently, I was dead set against Ethereum, that currency, because it doesn't have a cap. It's inflationary. And I also really wasn't into not Dogecoin. What's that other coin that I'm in? Oh, well, I'm drawing a blank. Welcome to being in your 50s. But basically, I branched out a little bit. I put just a little bit of money into whatever that coin is. It used to be called Dark Coin. Dash! I can't believe I couldn't dig that piece of information up. Anyway, a couple of months ago, I put some money into it, and man, has it taken off. So I'm just going to let her ride, because I'm still saving money to get a transmission rebuild on my truck. But just recently, and I'm very, pretty happy about about that coin. But then just yesterday, I finally had to look at Ethereum again, and I had some MadeSafe coin in a weird wallet online, where you decrypt it on your end, but it's stored online, and I just they're coming out with a new service called Swarm. It's kind of like torrents and kind of like another internet within the internet, and people will be able to host a lot of information themselves. And if I understand correctly, it'll be hosted on other nodes as well throughout the internet, and then that could be what we really need. You know how the UK is trying to block access to porn for guys, and you know, there's all kinds of controls being placed on the internet, and anything that makes Bitcoin, the internet more free, man, I am all for it. For example, when Turkey closed down that anti-government website they had, newspaper they had, if they could have had their newspaper mirrored and backed up on a service like MadeSafe or Swarm, then basically all of their, what they said would not have been lost the way it is. And also they could have published their newspaper in exile, or from like an anonymous situation. They could have been anonymous and continued posting their newspaper, and there wouldn't have been shit the government could do about it. And that's what I've really been hoping for, and that's the reason I bought that MadeSafe coin, was to encourage that service. But man, they are just taking too long. And then these people come out with that Ethereum Swarm thing, where they can host files and websites and whatnot. I just had to, I saw the way the wind was blowing, and I sold my MadeSafe coins, and bought some Ethereum. So I'm not terribly fond of the fact that there's no cap on Ethereum, but man, that service could be huge, that Swarm service. So I went ahead and cashed in. I kicked a Bitcoin into MadeSafe back when Bitcoins were like $300 each, and the increase brought it up to about maybe 2,200 or something, and I put that into Ethereum. So, and meanwhile, I'm still saving for my transmission. So other than that, I'm pretty darn happy, pretty content, and it's starting to warm up, and I'll be able to get out into the yard a little bit more, and maybe plant a few of those gardens, a few of those no-till, extremely low maintenance, no need to water them gardens, and straighten up a little bit, and enjoy my life. I do love spring, and I love it when it moves into early summer. I'm not a big fan of super hot heat, but no complaints really. I'm just nitpicking. So yeah, 20 friggin' years. Every once in a while, while I was around today and surfing the internet and all that, and I was thinking, oh man, 20 years. So from 20 years down the MGTOW path, I have to say, it's not a bad way to live. Not a bad way. No, it's not paradise, and there is no perfect life, but man, you could do a hell of a lot worse. So, don't get married. Later.